Fanny and Alanis. Thank you for voluntarily offering yourself and participate the first. Remember, you're not presenting any class. You just, I want you to tell me the analysis that you found out of you know,
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
you know what I mean. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, don't worry. Well, uno y uno, Fanny?
Yes.
Va.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, the name is just first conditional. We just found that name, first conditional.
And the concept express possible
Hold on.
Okay.
The rest of the teachers pay attention in case you have some feedback, okay? Okay, I'm sorry, continue.
And we found that the concept is it express possible condition that has a result in the future. It causes an effect.
Okay.
Yeah, the structure, we put two different structures. When we begin with if, that is if, subject, simple present, comma, subject, and simple future. And the other structure is with the subject, simple future, then the if without the comma, subject, and simple present. And we put an example that is, if you study hard, you will get good marks. And inverse, you will get good marks if you study hard.
In rules, we found that the conditional sentence has to have the if and the simple present. The result has to be in simple future.
Some exceptions that we found are that instead of using will or going to, we can use a modal verb that can be may, might, should, must, or can.
And we put as possible activities, we could, based on image, make some conditionals to the situation and find the correct order of mixing words to make a sentence in first conditional.
And some problems are that maybe they can change the verb after the modal verb. If they use a modal verb, they can change the tense of the verb. For example, they can use past participle or simple past. Or they can confuse this conditional with the hubiera, you know, that they can think about the past instead of think about the present.
And as possible questions, we put that it could probably like ask us, we always have to start the sentence with if.
And our joker is a Kahoot, and like a competition of questions.
Okay,
And that's all.
Okay, I have some feedback for you, okay? Can I? Okay, well, anyways. The concept, express possible condition that has a result in the future, cause and effect. That's the description more than the concept. Remember that the concept is when and how students are going to use this particular grammar point. So what real situations and what context, in what situation these students will actually use it. Because this for me is more like a description than actually a concept.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, maybe things that they do in the present that can have a result in the future.
Well, that's still the description. Let me show you.
Okay.
Can you stop
Stop
sharing?
sharing. Uh-huh.
Okay. Let me. So here's the whiteboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm drawing two beautiful circles, yes or no? Okay. So tell me who's online. Daniela, no. Alanis, tell me, Alanis. You still live with your parents. Tell me the things that you hate doing at home.
Uh-huh. Wash the dishes.
Wash the dishes, okay. Arik, tell me one thing that you hate doing at home.
Sweeping.
Okay. Okay. Funny thing that you hate doing at home.
Cooking.
Cook. Sarah, thing that you hate doing at home.
Clean the bathroom.
Clean the bathroom. Okay, and so forth, no? Okay, so we're talking about permission with your parents. So you write here, if, will, can, should. Okay? Now, in this side, tell me, Alejandro Núñez, things that you love doing at home.
I don't know, sleeping?
No. Things that you, excuse me, let me paraphrase. Things that you love outside your home.
Outside my home?
Activities to do
Like,
outside your house.
Like going to the movies or something
Okay,
like
good.
that?
Go to the movies. All right. Blanca, things that you love doing outside your house.
Definitely all.
What?
Eating,
Eating?
dance,
Okay.
eating, dance.
Eat at a restaurant. Okay. Tell me, Sophie, one thing that you love doing outside your house.
Doing exercise.
Okay. Go to the gym.
Okay.
Millie, are you here? Tell me one thing that you love doing outside your house. No, she's not here. Daniela, one thing that you love doing outside your house?
Shopping. Go
Okay.
to the shopping.
Go shopping. Okay, so guess what? This is my friend, Sam. Sam lives with her parents, okay? Sam needs permission to go to her favorite places. Yes or no? Okay, so check the... If she washes the dishes, she will go to the movies.
She will.
Okay. If she wipes the house, she can eat at a restaurant. If she cooks today, she will go to the gym. This is action. And this is what? A reaction.
The result.
Very good. Okay, Alanis and Fanny, what
Yes.
is the concept in this class?
Permissions.
Very good, Alanis. The concept is permission.
Permission.
Okay, so now we have clear what permission, excuse me, what concept is.
Yes.
Okay,
When they are going,
say it, say it.
when they are going to use it.
Exactly. Very good.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now let's continue with Diego, Escalona, and Eric.
Okay, we show our presentation. All right. One second. All right, where it is? Here it is. Okay, we firstly use the first conditional to set other possibilities. We normally use the if in order to set hypothetical scenarios. That is to say something that has still not happened yet, but it might do. Sentences can end with a positive or a negative resolution. It depends on how this did affects us. For example, here's an example. The statue says, if I wasn't a statue, I know the world. That is an hypothetical scenario, right? Because the statue, well, isn't alive. But it is thinking about the possibility. This is an example of a construction using if. If it rains, I won't go to the park. In this case, this is a negative sentences because the deed of the rain is going to affect us in a negative way because we won't go to the park. This other one, may you read it, Eric? Eric,
Yes.
can you help me?
Yes, of course. Another example that we have here is if you study today, I will go to the party tonight. It means that we have a consequence about like a sentence or a cause that we have. We're going to have a consequence. It means if I study today, I have a permission for something. I will go to the party. I will do something. Can you please continue?
All right. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, this is a brief grammar analysis. This is when we use the if form, all right? This is like the most classical way of doing a first conditional. If it rains, or these are the same sentences previously mentioned. I'm sorry, this is just to show like a comparison. We always use if at the beginning of the sentence to set the condition of a possibility and before the resolution, which is determined as the action affects us. As I say, maybe it can be something that affects us positively or negatively. It depends on how it affects us. Can you read it, please, Eric?
Yes, conditional if clause exceptions. It is said that if the conditional if clause future tense cannot be used will plus verb. However, add the exception, for instance, when the action in the if clause takes place after that in the main clause. Example, the weather forecast says it's going to rain. Well, if it will rain, we must take our umbrellas.
Okay, here is another example of another construction for this kind of sentences. In this case, we're using will. All right, we're using if plus will. These are like the common the clauses that we use in first conditional. Okay, so we have these activities. With a set of vocabulary, create your own hypothetical sentences. You must at least create 3 with a positive resolution and 3 with a negative resolution. Let me see a lot of my partners. Who, for example, let's say, Fanny, can you construct a negative sentences using this vocabulary?
It could be like, if I don't pass the exam, I will not play video games. I will not play video games.
Correct, exactly. That will be a conditional using the scenario of taking an exam. If we don't pass it, we won't be able to play video games again. Let's say, for example, Alanis, can you make a, a positive sentence using any of these vocabulary?
Diego,
Tell me.
yeah, we're not doing the activities, Diego. Just playing the.
Sorry. I thought that we were going to. Okay, well. Okay, well, this is related to activities, isn't it? So it wasn't.
So what about the possible problems with your students?
Okay, I thought that we were going to use the formula of the D1, D2, and D3, but I didn't. So I didn't play too much attention within the chart that you gave us.
Well, that's a different
So
story.
exactly. I make like a class that with like the steps of exercise and such.
Okay, so
Maybe but I thought that I didn't thought that it was going to be related with
so
the chart.
you will have extra homework. You're gonna do it
All right.
and send it to me, okay?
Okay.
All right, very good. So next one, Sara and Alejandro Núñez. Yes.
Okay. Well, we made kind of the same mistake that the last ones, but we have the points. Yeah, and we have the points of the chart,
Yeah.
but we don't have the chart as you presented it.
No follow. Just go ahead and present it.
Okay. 1 second.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So to talk about the first conditional, we planned to ask like what they think first conditional is.
Oh, okay.
Like a brainstorm.
Pause there. I see what you mean. You're going to present the class.
Kinda, well, we have the points that you mentioned in the chart, but we didn't present it as a chart. We had like the class something.
Okay, tell me, just go ahead, because this is part of the second part of the class. After we do the analysis, we transform it into a class.
Okay, so we are talking about first conditional, and it is used to talk about things which might happen in the future. Of course, we don't know for sure what is going to happen, but we can talk about things that could easily come true.
Yeah, so we thought about some activities like brainstorming for the start of the class, and it was like, what do you think is the first conditional, and then the other activity that was
some examples.
Yeah, it's like, do you remember back in the day, we were going to talk about what your mom or dad used to say, like if you study hard you will get a good job, my mom used to say, and if you don't pick all your toys up, I will throw them to the trash can, Sarah's dad used to say. And well, some examples in there. And after that,
I'm going to stop you there, because let me explain why. Remember at the beginning of today's class, we said that in order to present a grammar, you need to be prepared. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In order to be prepared, you need to analyze the six or I don't know, 8 different points that a grammar tense has. So what you're doing is you're doing a class and you may break into some mistakes.
Okay.
So why don't we do this for homework? You will have extra homework too, and you will change that into a chart similar to what I did. It doesn't have to be the same. I'm just saying, follow me the analysis of each of the points, because on the next class, we're going to use that to transform it into a actual lesson plan. But before doing the lesson plan, we need to master it, remember. Don't be over too confident, because otherwise is when actually mistakes come into play. All right, okay, so let's move on with Alan is finally presented. Tony and Blanca.
Okay.
We'll listen to you.
Okay. Good. Wait me for to share the page. Okay. I don't know how to present with. Okay. This is our presentation. It's not like a shark, sorry, but just like a presentation in PowerPoint, okay? For today, we are going to present the first conditional. Anthony, we are going to tell us what is the concept. Can
Okay,
you?
well, yeah. Okay. Well, the concept for the first conditional. Okay, it says that it's a structure just for talking about possibilities in the present or in the future. Okay, this is also seen as a consequence of something that we are going to make in the future, or something that we are asking if we can do that, right? Okay, so now can you change the okay, now here we can see the structure and how to use the first conditional. Okay, we just the first conditional plus simple present or simple future plus subject plus complement. Okay, and here we go, an example. Okay, if it rains, I will stay at home. This is one example for how to use the first conditional.
Exactly. And if you note, in the simple present or simple future, you use with s, like in this case, rains is infinitive verb or simple present, but you use s, and then if you talk about the third person, and then you use simple future like Tony says, okay? Exceptions. We have a example of this with, if you help me, I could finish the homework sooner. In this case, we are use could. And other case, the principal word is will, that for to say a possibility in the future. Yes. And we have a possible activities. Exactly. When we talk about weather and activities, like the last example, in this case, if it rain, I will stay at home. If the sun is shine, I will going to go to the I will going to the work. something like that. Yes? Then we have possible problems. Can you help me, Tony?
Okay, well, and we're going to have sometimes possible issues or problems with the students when we don't have a good structure. We have a bad structure, and we don't explain the correct way how to use the grammar. For example, for the first conditional, if we don't explain correctly how to use it, the the future students will not structure a good sentence.
Exactly. Exactly. And then we have possible questions like the exceptions. Can I use could when we are going to talk about future? We use could, should, or will. But in this case, we talk about first conditional. So we use only will. But we have an exception with call, some exceptions, but in this case, we have problems or we have possible question from the student when say us, can I use could? Can I use should? But the structure or the formal for the sentences tell us that only use will, but in exceptions, we use could. Yes? Okay. Rules. Can you help me, Tony, about rules?
Okay,
Please?
well, yeah, talking about the rules for the first conditional, here we go, some examples. Okay, and the first one, if I study, I will pass the exam. Okay, we have the structure. Okay, the first conditional plus the personal noun, in this case, I, and then the verb, the verb and the complement. Okay, if I study, I will pass the exam. Okay, in this case, we are talking about the present, something that is happening, and we are talking in future time, a possibility, something that we are going to that we possible going to do.
Excellent. Thanks. Thanks, Tony. Okay. And Joker, we understand that that is an activity that we use with the students. And in this case, we can use an imagine or a picture with some elements, and then the students have to predict the activities. It's like, okay, we have a little girl running in the street. What happened with this girl? In first conditional, what happened? And then the students tell us or have to work in teams to do it, this activity. And it's all for our team.
Okay, good. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Blanca.
Thanks.
I like it. I like it very very sequential. No, my only feedback is that same as as Fanny and Analysis, you were missing the concept. You didn't have a concept. Remember, the concept is that, for example, if you're teaching simple past, an example of a concept could be famous people have died. If you're teaching future will, an example of a concept could be fortune teller or your dreams. No? So, for example, in the ones that the concept that I gave you for first conditional was permissions, no? Consequences. I don't know. but assign a concept. Otherwise, my dear teachers, your students will actually pass the subject, will learn to ace the subject, but they will not learn to talk because the students will not actually be motivated to use it or will not even know when to use it. Okay? So work on your concept, please. No es cierto. Millie and April, please.
Just give me a second. I'm going to share you my screen.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. So we will tell you about first conditional. And to start, the concept is that we use our conditional to talk about things that are always true. That means they can use it as in a possible situations in the future and to predict likely results in the future.
Okay, we have the structure. We use if plus simple present or simple future. We need the subject plus will or a negative one, then the verb.
Here it's really important to mention that we need some parts in the simple present that is like the subject, the sorry, that was your part.
No, don't worry.
Okay, well, we have it here with the example. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. Like for example?
For example, can be the result of cows. If it rains, the grass will grow. The result is if we don't hurry, we'll miss the plane. The result is the cause of your dog. The result is the cause of the beginning.
So for rules we have that we always need to use if at the beginning of the sentence, that the verb always have to be in the infinitive form, and well that is the result of the main clause, and there is always placed a comma after the first part, and there is the result of the main clause.
Possible activity. If you misunderstand the rules of the cinema, what would it happen? Pretend that you are in the cinema. If I misunderstand the rules of the cinema, they will take me out.
As an example for the students just to understand the activity. For possible problems, we think that they might get confused or forget the rules that they should follow in simple present and in simple future, so we will need to be clear with them.
Possible question. Do we need to use always the present and the future? Does the sentence need to start always with if? Yes, because if is the first condition.
Yeah. For Joker, we have the table game where they will use the first conditional as they throw the dice, or you can say.
Very good. I like it. Very good. My only feedback is the same as the last one. You need to work on your concept. Okay. It was very good. It was very, very sequential, very ordered one, but concept. If you do that, if you base your class in that analysis, it will be like the same Kool-Aid teacher from the Monton that walks into the classroom. Okay, guys, copy these sentences with the if clause and your notebook. Students will do it because they have to. But first of all, they're going to hate you. Secondly, they're going to hate English. And thirdly, they will not learn. They will not produce English. They need to be motivated in when and the how the students are going to use first conditional. In this case, I would suggest, for example, rules. Rules at a movie theater. Today, we're going to go to the movies. But we need to learn the rules. If you get drunk, you will take it out of the movie theater. If you smoke weed, pass it to the teacher. I don't know, something like that.
Yes.
See what I mean? But you just gave them something to practice in a real life situation. Don't be like the montón of the teachers that only focus on the sentences, on the grammar, which is okay, but students will actually not learn. Okay?
Yeah, great.
Okay, work on that.